All right, guys. Well, while we're here exploring the bank, why don't I share some basic tips to avoid banking scams and fraud? I want to let you guys know that banks will never send you a text or email that expecting you to click on a link. They will almost always instruct you to visit your local branch or call the number on the back of your card, something, or log into their official website, something of that nature. And the reason I specify that is because there's popular scams going around via text and via phone about bank accounts and whatnot. I myself have received several text messages claiming to be from large local banks. One was from my bank, one was from Bank of America. You get the idea. And usually they come from a 1410 kind of number, something like that. They don't seem very official at all. If you've signed up for banking alerts, they're from something other than what you get your banking alerts from. And they almost always request that you call a number back that is not an 800 number, which ought to strike you as odd to begin with, okay? The emails will be official looking enough, but just a little bit off. There'll typically be, oh, that's unlocked. There'll typically be some spelling mistakes. Or it'll be from it'll have a return address that's just not quite right. Something of that nature, guys. Something enough to where the astute observer would realize that, hey, this isn't really where I want to be. Where's this zombie that's yelling at me? Hey, can't you see him doing a video? Come on, man. Trying to distract people so that you can commit fraud, aren't you? Yeah. Silly. Okay. Like I was saying, the email will be something similar to the text, where it will be kind of official looking, but there will be something that's just a little bit off. Guys, if you are worried about possible fraudulent activity on your account, if you get one of these things and it just makes you concerned, call the number on the back of your credit card or your debit card, whichever it is that you think you're allegedly getting a sketchy message about. Yeah, call the official number on the back of the card, the 800 number, and talk to the fraud department and see. More often than not, if there's something wrong, say with your debit account, then they will just freeze your account, and you will find out when you go to charge something like you normally do. It'll just say, unable to process at this time, please contact your bank, whatever. And then you call your bank, and they'll explain the situation. My wife and I have been traveling and whatnot, and because we were making charges outside of our usual area, we would have our accounts have this take place. They would just get frozen. We wouldn't be able to use the card. We'd call and go, hey, what's up? And they would go, hey, we just want to verify that this is really you. So that's kind of how those things take place. But what they're doing is they're preying on the young that don't know any better and the old that aren't used to dealing with the new technology. So that's just a little bit of caution to throw out there. Now, something else that does tend to happen is if your account actually does get hacked or your information gets stolen somehow, then a lot of times the fraudsters will attempt a small charge on your account before they attempt the big stuff. You'll get a charge from anywhere from 20 cents to $10 usually. This is them testing the waters to see A, if it's actually a legitimate account, and B, to see if their little scheme is going to work. If it is, then that's when the floodgates open and they start really hitting you with the stuff. Turns out I've got to go back to base real quick and drop some of this gear off. And if something happens, the minute you notice it, the way to avoid it, guys, is to monitor your accounts on a regular basis. Ideally, you want to do weekly. If you're living check to check, you want to do more than once a week. That way you could be aware if something like this happens. Most of your account information tells you that you could be responsible for $50, but the key is contacting them quickly. The sooner you contact them and suspend your accounts and get them to reissue a new card, things of that nature, the less hassle it's ultimately going to be for you guys. Okay? And the $50 thing shouldn't be something that super concerns you either. That's an emergency fund issue. You ought to have $50. Nobody likes to blow it. But if that's the worst case out of the whole deal, I think that's something that, you would kind of be grateful to handle as opposed to hundreds or thousands of dollars. Now, aside from those bits of information that I could share with you, I could tell you one other thing, guys. There is also a popular scam going on where you will receive a phone call. Usually somebody will leave a message saying, hey, we're from the IRS. It might even come up on your caller ID as a call from Washington. And usually the scam goes, hey, there's a problem with your taxes. You owe back taxes, and we are sending the sheriff to deal with this. If you don't wire us some money, whatever it is, send us this card, blah, 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 blah. Okay, it all boils down to the same thing. They're trying to get you to panic. They're trying to scare you to death so that you end up sending them some money. Okay? First of all, the IRS, if there's ever a problem with your tax returns or anything else, it's government bureaucracy, guys. It is a very slow process. And when I say slow, I mean glacier slow. Usually the first step is for them to send you a letter in the mail. It really is that simple, okay? Usually... And typically that's not something that it's a federal thing. It's not something that they would send a county sheriff to deal with normally. Okay, guys? The point is, don't fall for the scams. Be very wary. Monitor your accounts. A lot of people know that they're supposed to monitor their passwords and whatnot and change them on a regular basis. Very few people do it, so don't feel upset if you're one of those very few that doesn't do it. The thing that you do want to be aware of, though, is it's very hard to, scam you out of a bunch of money if you're monitoring your accounts on a regular basis. If you're well aware of what's in there and what charges are being made to your accounts. That's how you avoid things like that. And so if you're concerned at all, if you've got an issue, visit your local branch, call the number on the back of your card. Those are the two best pieces of advice that I could give you. And as always, guys, there's a lot of different things out there. There's more than I covered here in this one simple short video. I'll try to give it to you in small bites. If you've got examples of fraud that's occurred, if you know of scams that people have nearly fallen victim to, well, then share it with me. Put it in the comments below the video. Hit me with it at fustyandfinance@gmail.com so that I can share it with others and so that we can all avoid them together.